Hi, my name is Elsa and I will be going over consequences if the skill is not attained. The first point I have made on the slide belongs to the study by Wolf and Hughes, which states underreporting and failure to report errors and near misses prevents efforts to avoid future errors and thwarts the organization's and clinicians' obligation to inform, disclose to patients about the error. So reporting near misses, which happen 300 more times than adverse events, can provide invaluable information for proactively reducing errors to constantly work towards reducing the errors that are currently happening. Analysis of reported errors have revealed many hidden dangers such as near misses, dangerous situations, and deviations or variations that point to system vulnerabilities. So, as the system as a whole, the practice as a whole, not intentional acts of clinician performance that may eventually cause patient harm, which is to say, it wasn't one particular person who made a mistake, but it was the whole concept in itself. If errors are not reported, however, the idea that the healthcare provider is the sole person to blame remains, instead of looking at it from a systematic approach and seeing it as a broader problem. If errors aren't reported, then it can allow for institutions to gather the critical data to evaluate where the risk of error is coming. This helps prevent future errors through the development of early interventions, changes in policy, or procedures. However, if errors aren't prevented, they can't study where the error occurred and therefore cannot change policy or establish a new procedure. Furthermore, by not disclosing errors, the idea of perfect practice propagates, and that is far from the truth. The Institute of Medicine itself published To Err is Human. It acknowledges that humans can and will make mistakes, and healthcare workers are humans. The whole purpose of the book wasn't to point a finger or call anyone out, any specific group of healthcare workers, but to help them realize that they need to take accountability for their errors, but to improve upon them, not just to say, you made a mistake. It was, you made a mistake, and what can we do about it? However, if errors remain unreported, then finding exactly where they could have been prevented goes unresolved and will not result in establishing policies to help prevent them in the future. Everything will just stay the same. And this kind of ties into my next point. The perfect practice idea kind of ties into blame culture, which is the idea that only one person is to blame if a mistake occurs. However, that's not the case at all. A lot of research has showed that it's a systematic problem, not a one-person problem. So by reporting errors, it helps focus on safety rather than on blame. It shifts that. It's not just who did it. It's what can we do to make this safer? What kind of interventions can we put in place? It also helps establish changes necessary to prevent future errors. The reporting, it can reflect numerous problems in the system, such as a culture that was not driven towards safety in the first place, but had unfavorable working conditions for nurses that caused these mistakes in the first place, and can help to effectively avoid future errors that can cause patient harm by making improvements in the underlying system as a whole. Most importantly, the study by Wolf and Hughes states refusing to disclose suggests fear and a need for provider control rather than patient and family's need for honesty and care. And this ties into that trust that we want to establish with our patients. As healthcare providers, we took an oath to uphold values and gain the patient's trust. But if we can't be honest about these mistakes, then we leave an opening for dishonesty, and this can really shatter the trust between the healthcare provider and the patient. As the study states, fidelity and trust are implicit to the provider-patient relationship, but cannot coexist with deception. So once there's a lie, or once there's something that's being withheld, there's that break in trust that, sometimes we work hard for. A lot of us, when we graduated, we took an oath to uphold morals and ethics. We had a whole ethics course. We value fidelity, beneficence, and non-maleficence, but not reporting errors is a break in that. It's us, in a sense, breaking the oath that we made towards the beginning, which overall contributes to the fact that not reporting is unacceptable. People's lives are at stake, their safety and their well-being. They trust us as healthcare providers, and the only way that we can improve the system and the procedures and the current policies is through reporting the errors that we ourselves, healthcare providers, have made. Now, reporting errors does not allow for institutions to find where the mistake is being made and where it can be prevented. Patient safety will not improve until reporting errors becomes something that is the norm and valued and accepted as a means of improvement and focusing on patient safety. As the study by Wolf and Hughes states, only through reporting errors can nurses and other healthcare providers learn which system design and operational failures contribute to human fallibilities and subsequently improve the quality of care, which means shifting the idea that it's just a person who's to blame and fixing it as a whole in its entirety for all the healthcare providers and regardless of practice.